Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel on a new set of videos regarding the SIP digital speedo. I've bought one for this series too, and they're the main components that come with it. You have a wiring loom, that beast, the black box, which I may or may not use yet. I've got to figure out what's actually inside it. I can't find any information on the web, but it looks like it's AC red one, brown one, ground, and the red one is 12 volts in this case. Then you've got your pulse generated for your speedo, for your rev counter. Your red is your 12 volts, and your lighting circuit is brown and earth is black. So the only thing I can think that there'd be in there is a bridge rectifier of some description. They're just taking the one leg of the AC from the other leg of the AC. Whether that's linked across, we'll find out. Like I say, I'll probably have to open this. It looks like it's been pushed in at that end, potted. It's a tube, or it could be sonic welded, I suppose, because it looks like a line along there, but that could just be from pushing it in. Like I say, I'm not actually 100% sure whether I'm going to be using this black box yet, because I've got a full DC system on here. We've got our temperature sensor, which I've already made up, and extension cable for the power. And then we've got our button, programming reset button, which I've got to figure out where to put it yet. There is a few places because the headset's that bit bigger on a Series 2 for it to land. The actual speedo itself, which still got the plastic on it. And then we've got extension leads for the thermostat or temperature sensor. And another cable. You can add to this system fast flow fuel tap, so when it goes low, it'll tell you it's coming low of petrol. From what I've heard about them and what I read about them on the internet, they seem to fluctuate while you're driving, and when it becomes quite low, the petrol, you keep getting the light coming on. That could be just a need of a diode in line, so it just damps the actual signal coming out. The other part obviously is the box up there. That's the box that it all came in, which we don't really need anymore. But the first thing you need to do is to decide which scooter you're fitting it to. Obviously in this case it's a Series 2, Series 1, so they tend to be, if they've got conversions for this, you'd have a 12 volt AC system, which is just total loss system, or you'd have a 12 volt DC system, which would have a battery. Mine's different from that. It's full DC, so all my lights, everything works from the battery, and all I do is I keep charging the battery all the time while I'm running. And obviously when it's running and I've got the lights on, I'm not really using any charge, because the lighting load is less than what my stator can output. So it's just bringing the scooter itself up into this modern world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on taking the handlebars apart, which people may or may not know. It might be sucking eggs to you, because once that speedo is actually in the headset, then it's safe, isn't it? It can't get broken and fall over, etc. So that would be my first thing to is put the speedo into the headset, and then get your wiring. Or what you could do is take your speedo away, leave it indoors, do all your wiring first. Like I say, the only fly in the ointment is I don't really want to use that unless I have to, and I need to open it up to have a look what's actually inside it, and I can advise. I dare say there's loads and loads of people want to know what's inside that. I just think it's a rectifier. I can't see how anything else. It's just the tacho's just counting the cycles, and you have to double it up because you only got half a cycle on a AC system. But I've got AC from the stator plate, which I'll show you in a bit, but mine's fully rectified DC system, so we can go through that. I can show you the pros and cons basically. I don't think there's any cons, I just think there's loads and loads of pros doing this. Hopefully it'll make the speedo a little bit brighter than it is. The bulb in it, you know, it's one of them things. It's from the 50s, isn't it? So the whole design's from the 50s. But I don't know, I've sort of semi-fallen in love with the Series 2, to be honest with you. I just love the shape of them. It's a tad slow, so next year I'm going to be doing some work on the engine to just get it up to a bit more performance. On par with probably a GP 150, that'll do. I'm not asking it to put a 225 engine in or whatever. I've already got that in the GP anyway, so it sort of defeats the object when all your scooters are the same. So I'm just going to cut away now, move up to the front, and we'll take off the handlebar top, speedo out. With my speedo, my handlebars, etc., I've got halogen bulb, so you don't want to touch that. And really, ideally, you need to disconnect the battery to start with. But I'm not doing any electrics like that at the moment. So we've got one screw, one on the other side, one below, handlebar, headlight comes off, and then we've got one either side, and we just need to push up the speedo cable so the headset will come up. So I'm just going to cut away till I get the screwdriver together. Right, so I'm just going to make a start on this screw. And then this side, all stainless steel again. And then the bottom one, always easier if you put the handlebar in the middle. We'll take the bottom one out first. Then the ultra long screws there. Two, and that one. That's it. And what I'm going to do is just put them screws back in loosely. When I pulled the handlebar headlight off, so just stick that underneath for the time being. Stick one in there, one in there, and one in the bottom. Then all we need to do is just pull these cables out. None of them are live while that switches off. That's an original wiring loom. I just need to get in the way there. I'm just taking out the second of these screws that hold the handlebar top down. Then all we need to do is then push up on the speedo cable. Need to just take it out of the catch on the forks, along with the front brake. Right, that can pull up now. I thought it would go up a little bit further than that, so I'm just going to have to take out the speedo drive from the forks. Then I'll only need to undo the speedo cable and the cable which is for the light for the speedo. So I'll just pull that up. Undo it. Hope I'm not blanking off the picture too much, and I'll be as quick as I can. Need to push it up a little bit more than that. Like never-ending screw on here. And pull the speedo out as well, which is that one. There we go. So we've got our 3 screws holding on our speedo. That's a little tip for you as well. Stops your paint rubbing when you're taking these apart and building them. So I need to cut away again. Right, so I've taken the screws out. Just move the washer out the way, and then just push the speedo through. For anybody who hasn't done that before. So our speedo's free now. Just need to put that somewhere safe. I'll probably put that back in the other box, to be honest, that the SIP one came in. So we're just going to take our SIP speedo and stick her in, and she is a tad smaller, believe it or not, and put our washer back on. You always put the pushed inside towards the speedo, and then we can just put our screws in. One by one. And before we tighten anything, you just want to turn it over and make sure you're happy with the alignment of all the dials. I could be around the wrong way here. No, I'm not around the right way. Beginner's luck, I suppose. So far, no problem with anything. It's just straightforward plugging in. And if I had a standard Li with the 12 volt conversion on it, AC, like my GP, then that black box would just sit in here, somewhere in here, probably tie wrapped to the back of that, the terminal block, and we'd be in business. I'm just doing these screws up because, as always, you do one and the others pop out, so and then I've got that one to go in, and then just tighten them all the way down. I think the Series 2 headset basically is a work of art, the castings on them, and you don't get the same problems that you get with a GP, that they're all different sizes. Generally I find that the Series 2, the tops all fit the bottoms, and the bottoms fit the top, so I'm just putting the second screw in. And I just need to put the third one in properly. Yeah, putting screws in a headset is basic. What I've opted for as well with my setup is I'm going to be using the speedo worm, the speedo cable. You can get a digital tachometer, and then you're going to have to put a magnet on the moving part of either your wheel or your hub. Normally they're magnetic and they'll stick on one of the fastening bolts on the wheel. That tends to be the best place. So there's my speedo in place. So this speedo doesn't have the light, so you don't need the light putting on that you would have had from the original one. And as you can see, I've done up these 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, so that's tight, and I've more or less aligned that where I'm quite happy with that. I think that's pretty good. I could turn it, I suppose, a tad more, but yeah, in fact I will do. I'll just turn it clockwise a tad. So you just need to undo these screws a little bit so it'll rotate. And then what I'm going to do is just move it a tad more, so that looks like the 80 is bang in the middle. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It wasn't far out anyway. So just to do up these 3 screws again. And then what we've got is our connections on this side. Basically, like any digital speedo, they're all your connections for your power. Where's the other one? Where I think that one's the temperature sensor. Then you've got one that does the speedo and one that does the petrol gauge. What you can also have as well is you know, like a sat nav type of speedo reading. There's a black box that goes on your scooter. I think that's more suited to a GP, where, you know, GPs have got black. The LI series TVs on series 1s and 2s tend to be colourful, if not white. All white, light blue, you know, various shades of panels, and sometimes the horn casts are different. So, and even the handlebars, sometimes the mud guards are painted. So it's harder to sort of get rid of a black box out of sight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put that in my box. I'm leaving the plastic on there till I'm ready to run it. And you basically need a cable running from here, power cable, and a tacho cable, or do you? No, you need a temperature cable, sorry, because the tacho cable will be one of the 4 wires that come up from the black box, which hopefully I'm not using. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this video here, because obviously that's just put that on there, connecting to the cables which are going to come up, and then connecting and run it. So I'm going to do part 2 will be wiring, and part 3 will be showing you what's inside this black box, because I can't wait to have a look myself, to be honest with you. I'm hoping that it's got nothing spectacular in there. I can't see it myself. You know, if it was something spectacular, it'd be expensive, and these speedos wouldn't be a couple of £100, would they? They'd be like £500–600 just to cover the costs of having that made. They obviously don't want you to open it because it's sealed, but hey ho, that ain't going to stop me. So watch out for part 2, and keep them peeled. I hope everyone is doing fine. Look after each other. Take care. Bye for now.